Happy Sunday morning, everyone. Welcome to the program, such as it is. If you are here on a regular basis during the week, this show on Sunday is very different. If you've not been here before, this is just a more informal Sunday morning, get your coffee and hang out for a little bit. Welcome to everybody who's over there. I saw Uncle Dave Potter. He's over there. And Teresa Dantone, more coffee now, she says. Absolutely. I just filled my cup. And Susie Q is here. How you doing this morning, Susie Q? Good to see you as always. She is one of my farthest back original listeners. And and a friend. We've had several conversations. It's good to have her here this morning on a Sunday morning. And who else is here today? Those are the first two names I saw. I think Rudy Kessler is here. Rudy the dog Kessler. We've always known him as Dog back in our reenacting days. Rudy, do you realize that we disbanded in the formal side of the 42nd Royal Highlanders? That was the historical group we were part of, as well as festival. But we disbanded that group 20 years ago. You realize it's been 20 years that we did. Well, we did that in 2003. So 19 going on 20 years. Hey, Romeldian, good to see you this morning. And Dave Potter says, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to call in or sit and listen to this really awesome lecture on sacred geometry. I think you should do whatever your heart tells you to do, brother. If you need some sacred geometry in your life, go grab it. I'm assuming it's Randall Carlson you're listening to. Well worth listening to. Hey, Jim Dawson, good to see you. Good morning. And Audrey, good to see you. Glad you could make it in. I know your life is a wild melee of schedule and things to do, but you're enjoying your job. That's very good. She's working at Disneyland, and she's working for the Rebellion, the Star Wars land there, whatever it's called there. It's Galaxy's End at Disney World, so she's having a great time working there. That's her go-to place. She practically lived there anyway. Now she's got a job there, and so that's fantastic. So let's see, Rudy. I remember we did something at Fort Ticonderoga in 2005. Yeah, that was right. I think we disbanded in 2003 and then did something at Fort Ticonderoga in 2005. I might be wrong, though. No, I'm right. Those were the years because I think we held that meeting at the big Victorian house where Dan and I were roommates. And I think we did it there, and I was out of there in 2002. Going on 2003, something like that. So anyway, there we go. If memory serves. Let's see. Grumpy Stack is here this morning. Good morning. And glad to see you here this morning. And everybody else who's joining in. Have you got your coffee, your tea, your soda pop, I got to show you this. I don't know if I showed you this the other night. This is the bottle that Andy gave me. Yeah, I think I did show it. He gave me that bottle the other day. He says, hey, you like this stuff? He says, this is really good bourbon. And Whistle Pig Piggyback, 100% rye. Pot distilled, 96.56 proof is what that is. So we're not drinking that this morning in our coffee. But it just happens to be sitting here on my desk because I unpacked it to the desk. Grumpy Stack has his hot green tea. So I hope that's working out well for you. Galaxy's Edge, says Audrey. They pay me to be there now instead of me paying them to go. Isn't that nice? Do you get to just have your days off if you want to go there or time off after work or before work or on a break? Just wander around and see things and do what you want to do out there. Is that one of the benefits of being a Disney child? Hot green tea for me too, says Susie Q. Hey, Daniel Londra. Good to see you this morning. Coffee. It's not as warm as it was when I poured it about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, but it's still good. So, Uncle Dave's coming over this week, not by force or at some untoward behest, but he is coming over to, we're going to start this basement, painting the basement, at least painting things up, getting the floor done, and the ceilings, hopefully, and the walls. And nothing too fancy to start with, just enough to get things moved into their proper places. We've got all of the office stuff and the bedroom, master bedroom stuff is all stuffed into the one big room over there. And the other room is empty. That's going to be the studio where this is all going to go. And as you can see, all I've got here is a desk and my computer and a couple of chairs sitting around. My art table's over there and just sitting against the wall, my big drafting art table. And so all of that, you ever have that? You've got stuff that's all shoved away somewhere ready for you to start the big project. So we didn't want to put anything down on the floors in the office because we're going to start there first, office studio. So that room's empty. We're going to get those floors painted. And you can paint walls around stuff, but it's really hard to paint floors around stuff. So then we're going to start moving stuff into there. Then we're going to do this room probably, and which is a family room, and get all that extra stuff put in here, and then open up the master bedroom so we can finally sleep in our own bed, in our own room. So there you go. Cuffs, not cops. I missed something Rudy said early on, and I don't see it. I'd have to scroll way back. So anyway, Matt Finn is here. Good morning, Matt Finn. Good to see you, brother. Master Finn. And he has joined us this morning, along with a few others. So I'm so glad you're all here. And if you're not here in the chat room, why not? Come on over to the chat room. Say hi to everybody. It's an informal day. Sunday mornings is very informal. And come on over and talk. And if you want to come online and talk, you can do that as well. Roger Rabbit, good morning to you. You got caught up in a Formula One race and missed your 9 a.m. alarm for the show. Were you driving or were you watching? So it's good to have you here either way. And speaking of driving and watching, my good friend, and some of you may have seen this because he's on your friends list too in different places, but Rocky Stucci put up a post that had a speaker that he was listening to. And it inspired me to say something because I saw this right after I saw a friend of mine, a friend of many years, who, as a matter of fact, my ex-wife and I used to hang out with he and his wife years ago. So we're talking 25. I think I've known this man for 25 years. Some of you know who will know who I'm talking about. He's about 6'6". Former Marine. He just hit 60 years old. It's hard for me to believe he's 60. And but he's feeling it. He's had, without revealing anything more than he reveals himself, he's had some hard times. He had it, and his hard times came because he made some bad choices. And those bad choices ended him up with some legal problems. He wasn't jailed, I don't believe. Legal problems. And if you notice, most legal problems, what's usually at the core? Something financial. And as a fallout of all of this, he's still married to the same woman, beautiful, tall redhead. She was I compared her when I first met her to Gabriella Reese, if you remember her in the 90s, volleyball player, very famous volleyball player. Well, they had some rough spots because of this. And I think a lot of trust was destroyed. And a lot of his family and a lot of his friends distanced themselves from him, if not outright dropping him, from my understanding as an overview. And he lost his job over this, a decent job. He was in insurance. and he lost his job. And so one by one, things started falling apart for him. And as he is very quick to let everybody know, he's not complaining that anybody else did anything to him. He's complaining that he created his own mess, and now he's living in it. And he's having not health issues, but per se, but like when you get a hip replaced, is that a health issue? That falls under health, but it's not because he's got some dreaded disease or something like that. He's got knee surgeries, things like that. He's been laid up. He hasn't been able to do the things he loves to do, like festival, for a few years now. And he will get online sometimes, and his posts can be quite morose, quite, if you can see through the thickness of the moroseness of it, what's another word for that I'm looking for? The people that they'll complain about something online, but he's not complaining about other people. He's complaining about the place he's put himself in, and he's feeling pretty down. And I have not been able to get in to hang out with him. I got to go bring a bottle of scotch, and we need to go hang out. But all of this to say, and those of you who know him know who I'm talking about, he finally did land a good job after trying and trying and trying. Not what he wants and not what he did, but better than not having a good job. And he's still facing his knee surgeries and stuff like that, and all of that. All that to say, it was reading his post this morning where he says, things are going better. And he says, he's kind of like, I'm sorry, but I make no apologies for my negativity, kind of a post. And just said, things have been shitty. Life has been shitty. I haven't been able to get that contact with people that I used to have to make life unshitty. So it remains shitty. And a lot of us who know him see these posts, and we just love him. We just tell him, hey, I love you. You're my friend. I'm here. Not always there, but I'm here. And you wish you could do something for him, but it's a thing he's going to have to do his own internal realizations to pull himself up. That's all he's got. And when your friends abandon you, you've got yourself. When your family abandons you, you've got yourself. It's not that it doesn't have an effect on you, but man, it can sure, it does have an effect on you, is the point I'm making. But you still have yourself, what's inside, to pull yourself up with. And he struggles with that. All of that, I read his post this morning. And he said, I got the good job. He says, but there's nothing like being like an indentured servant. And he says, that's bothersome, that aspect of it. And he says, the fact that my schedule's bad enough and I can't motivate or motor myself around. He says, so it's very tough to get around to see my friends. It's the final day of the festival out there today, and he can't make it out, and he feels bad about that. But so have you ever found yourself, the whole point I'm making with this, I saw his post this morning, and it wasn't very long. And it's like a lot of his other posts over the last year especially. And he's even had some people come in that know him and chide him in public for being such a Debbie Downer, and which he doesn't need. But have you ever been in that place where you feel like everything's falling apart? I can find the source, and the source point is me. I created my own problem. I made my bed. Now I got to lie in it. I made my mistakes, and because of my mistakes, I am left adrift. Have you been there? I know I've been there. I've made mistakes. I've made mistakes I can't undo. I've hurt people, not because I went out to hurt people. I've hurt people inadvertently because of my actions and things that I've done and things I had no control to fix. And you feel, if you let it, it can get you very despondent in life. I've been paralyzed. I say yes, says Elderberry. There you go. And Teresa says, absolutely. Matt Finn, we always, that's Audrey. I second what Matt Finn said. We always miss having you here, Audrey. But it's always great when we do have you. I agree. So, vague booking, says Rudy Kessler. Yes. You don't know all the details. I know some of the details, but not much with my friend. So I saw that post this morning, and then right away I was having my morning coffee just a few minutes before I came here, and another very dear friend of mine, Rocky Stucci. Some of you are friends of his and may have seen the post he put up, the one where he's just driving. He doesn't say anything. He's just driving and he's listening to something, and he wanted to share that. And it was obviously either a black minister or a black speaker. And because it's talking like this. And so I listened to that for a couple of minutes. I didn't get through the whole thing, but he was mentioning this idea of our failures. And you know, we've heard this stuff a million times over about all the rah, sis, boom, ba, get up and do your thing and conquer over your faults and the things that have you down. We've heard that kind of thing so many times ad infinitum, ad nauseum. It's just too much. And we tend to let it go in one ear and out the other. Now we tune to something else because, I've heard this all before. But this guy was basically saying, he says, do you ever get to that point where you feel like the things that you have done have taken you too far away from where you should be or want to be? And I'm going to paraphrase. I'm adding my own words to this, but this is what his message was. And he was talking about that, and he was talking about how we tend to let our failures override our goodness and override our power to overcome our failures. And it ain't about failing. Everybody fails. It's about what we do with that failure and how we let it affect our striving forward. There are times, even my own wife, who is not with us now, she might get up and be here. She's tired out lately. But as I've mentioned before, my wife has a lot of anxiety issues. Would you call it medical or psychological anxieties? She's always had that. We've gone through some rough times, financially, moving, and all of that stuff. And she said to me the other day, when I was up at Andy's for a couple days working this week, she said, I'm just so done. And I said, how do you mean? What's on your mind? And she said, I'm just done with life. I just don't want to be here anymore. She puts on a pretty good face on the radio, and so do I. But I handle my stresses and my anxieties very differently than my wife does. We're different people. I tend to try to root out the best thing that is happening in the mess. And with her, it overcomes her. And I said, well, sweetie, I said, I'm not going to preach to you, but at all. I said, but if I get into a place where I'm just done with everything and I feel like checking out, I said, I check that at the door and say, I got too much to live for. I got too much to do. Now, this wasn't a cry for help from my wife. She's not thinking of taking herself out. She just says she gets those feelings of the only way out of the mess is to end it all. And too many people get caught up in letting the mess override you. Like I've said many times when I was back in my ministry days, our old pastor said, if the devil can't make you bad, he'll make you busy. And if he can't make you busy, he'll make you overwhelmed. And I think sometimes our Yeah, we're our own worst critics, Rudy. You're absolutely right there. And hey, Steph Cuervo Queen, good to see you this morning. I'm glad you're here. Don't see you as much as I like to. I'm glad you're in here. Hey, Wilson, good to see you. And so when we get overwhelmed like that, when I get overwhelmed, which sometimes happens to me, when things aren't working right. I mean, look at me. I've been doing what I do for 40 years. I've had moments of success, success, not excess, success. I've accomplished things I've wanted to accomplish, and I still have a whole list of other things I want to accomplish. I remember there was a day where I said, I want to at least get a book published before I die. I've got six books out. Which is, I'm sorry, I'm not one of those prolific writers in certain fields where you got 38 books out. I just don't write like that. But I've got a novel to finish, and I've got another book to do, and another book after that. I just finished one with Andy Dabbs. He hired me to write his book about himself, his own memoirs, his own kind of a autobiography up till now type of thing. And I ended up putting so much of me in the book because it aligned with the way Andy thinks. We think alike on a lot of things. He's just been a lot more successful financially. But there have been so many times where I have taken ideas. It's like we would say, I take all the shit and I throw it up against the wall to see what's going to stick. That's why I've had my hand in so many different kinds of things. And I have those desires to travel and to go adventuring. I have all this list of things I have done, but only done to a certain point. There's certain things you accomplish. And you sit and you might feel a little bit like Alexander the Great, who absolutely had more money than I have. But why did he get depressed and die? They say because he had no more worlds to conquer. Now, it's not quite like that with me, but it's that idea of you keep doing things and then you keep trying new things and you never quite get to a place. I said to Raini the other day when she was talking about this stuff, I said, there's days I feel like I'm cursed, like I wronged the wrong person at some point, or somebody hated me, somebody put something. I feel that way. I don't know that. I feel that way. I don't know what the efficacy is of that anyway in the long run. But hey, Beth Kirkham, good to see you. That's it, Teresa. Spots on the wall. And so, because everything I put my hand to, which seems glorious at the beginning, ends up being something that when I do accomplish it, it just fizzles out. There's no way to proliferate it or no way to get the thing going. Raini and I have been involved in things that we keep trying. Raini tries several different business models that haven't panned out. And after a while, you sit here and you say, I've got zero money in my bank account. I have no borrowing power. I have no business that is making us get ahead. It's sometimes costing us money. Yet the bills don't stop rolling in. Life doesn't stop progressing. And after a while, you feel like giving up. But I keep looking to that idea we have out there of persistence, being persistent in something, never stopping. I've gotten in the last few years a little more tired out, and I think it's heart stuff and all of that stuff put together. And you get tired out, and you go, remember the Nicholson Helen Hunt movie? Is this as good as it gets? It was called, and someplace in the movie, he was a famous author that was, I think that was his character, drawing in lots of royalties and so on, and trying to write and hitting writer's block and getting older and not going where he wants to be. And he said the now famous line from that movie. He says, "Is this as good as it gets?" And so I remember I had this just popped into my head. I had a psychic friend of mine through a lot of the events that I was doing in the early 2000s to the mid 2000s, who did a reading for me and said, it was back when I was working on Tam O'Hare, trying to make that into something. And she said something about Tam O'Hare is going to go, she said, I see in about 12 years, it's going to go big and it's going to take you very big and blah, blah, bloody, 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 psychic, fortune telling type of stuff hanging all over that. And she said, and then it levels off. But it's going to take you to some high places. And I thought, oh, that's great. That's cool. Now, that 12 years would have been exceeded probably in 2016 or so, something like that. And I'm still struggling. So all of that to say, that's my personal story. I look at my friend's personal story that I mentioned, at Raini's personal story. All of us have personal stories. And sometimes it's really hard to listen to other people's personal stories because we all have our own bucket of fish. And so I look at all that and say, you become a little demoralized. You become a little, you start shutting down. You get discouraged. And you say, I got nothing left. As I've mentioned, I think on this show, about 2 years ago, I was not feeling good at all. It was post-heart stuff, which was now almost 6 years ago. And I said to myself, I don't think I'm at zero. I got nothing left. I got, hey, hi, Ellery and Kitty. Bob Saget is the kitty.
It's Bing Bong.
Bing Bong. You want to name it Bing Bong. That's not the deal we made.
No, the middle name is Bob Saget.
No, the main name is Bob Saget. Bing Bong is his middle name, his nickname. No. So, okay, I'm going to talk here about some stuff. So you get
Child abuse. You touched my butt.
Yep, child abuse. I spanked your butt. Spanked it, touched it. Uncle Dave says hi. Hi, she says over her shoulder. She cast over her shoulder at you, Uncle Dave. Hey, Kelly Bell. Good morning. And Chad Sanders, good morning. And Elderberry, good morning. And Beth Kirkham, good morning. So, all I'm saying, and I'm using my own experience as examples, not to cry in my soup or to go, listen to my sad tale of woe. It's nothing like that. I'm using that because it's the closest experience I can latch onto to say, I've experienced this, and I'm sure many of you have too. So here's the whole point I was making, getting back to what Rocky was listening to and played on it was on his Instagram this morning. This black preacher, I'm assuming he was a preacher. He sounded like a black preacher. Oh, that's so racist. Well, I'm sorry. There are black preachers, and you can tell, and there are white preachers, and you can tell the difference. There are Southern preachers, and you can tell the difference. So, for all of those of you who care about that. But he was saying, despite our failures, if we let our failures get us down and don't let them be he says, remember, there's stepping stones. And now all of this sounds cliche. We've heard it before, but he said it was powerful this morning. He said, those are stepping stones that get you to where you want to be. If you take the bull by the horns and let it do that, you let your failures, even the failures you've created, you let those things be your guide to doing better. Because you have the power and the greatness within you to do that. I don't care where you are religiously or spiritually or whoever you look to for this, but whoever created you imbued you with the power to keep moving on and to do better and to be better. and to not let our failures overcome us. That's where I sit today. I'm certainly not where I thought I would be at age 61, going on 62. I thought I'd be much further ahead, in a much better place than I'm in. And I'm in a good place. We just struggle. Everything's got to be a struggle. There's never just, and then you think you got it and you got the thing to do the thing with, and it's not quite enough, but it gets you by. And so you're always in that struggle mode of trying to make things be better. And after a while, it wears you down. And I can understand where Raini is sometimes. I'm just worn out, she says. And so all this stuff of getting worn down and letting our problems overtake us, that's the stuff that we stand up and fight against, and we refuse to let be the things that define us. That's why I thought of my friend this morning, the example of him. Yep, I got the effing Arkenstone. I'm not sure what that means, Kelly Bell. I know what I know who David Arkenstone is, but I don't know if that's what you're referring to. But Audrey, we should all love this message, because it's a message we should all be able. There should none of us be depressed or discouraged beyond our greatness to pull ourselves out of it. Now, are some people chemically imbalanced for that? Yeah. And they might need a little bit of help. But I think all of us have the ability to do something. It's like, you remember when I do tarot readings and I throw the 8 of Swords, and in the cards I use, it shows a path behind a woman, and that's her path, but it's strewn with these swords sticking out of the ground, which are obstacles. And she's bound around the shoulders with a golden cord, and she's blindfolded. And the idea with it is the way is dark. You can't see the way. You're bound. You're indecisive. You're overwhelmed by the things going around you, which are all the obstacles in life. And would you like to get a hold of whoever's in charge of throwing obstacles in our path and go sit on top of him and tap on his chest and go, I'm sick and tired of you throwing obstacles in my path. Sometimes the obstacles are of our own making. So one thing I found very early on, I'm talking 20 years ago, if you have bad credit because you didn't pay your bills on time or whatever, and you got bad credit, you can't get a good job. And I said, since when is having bad credit and trying to get a good job so I can get myself back in good standing supposed to be something that prevents me from getting the good job? I'd like to get a hold of the people or the group of people that have created our credit rating system and throttle them. I'd like to, I don't know, put them all out on an island somewhere and let them survive on their own. It's like, my credit's good enough, I got a credit card. But if you use more than 1/3 of that credit card, let's say you've got a small credit card, $500, and you buy something like, you know what? There is a $212 dishwasher. We're going to buy that, but we don't have cash. We're going to put it on credit. But we'll pay that off. We'll pay that off in a month because we don't want to drag out our balance. You put that $212 dishwasher on your $500 limit credit card. You know what happens? Exceeded 1/3 of your spending power on that credit card, and your credit drops 40 points. So all of a sudden, you've gone from you're struggling to get to 700. And you're at 698 with your credit, and suddenly you're 648. What happened? Oh, you used the credit you just earned. So, things like that. It's like, okay, who made that system? I'm not talking about thousands of dollars. I'm talking about hundreds. Hey, let's put that $200 thing on our card, and I'll pay it off when I get paid from this client before the end of the month, which we do. We've only had, I think, 1 month in 3 years where we let the credit card go beyond 1 month. It's zeroed out every month. And so the big question, who makes those rules? And those rules are made to make sure you don't get ahead. But of course, the problem is I created the problem, not them, because I got the credit and I used it. We should stick to cash. Anyway, that's a totally different topic of money management. But these are the kinds of things that we're all plagued with. Ideas that never pan out, things I keep trying to do that don't pan out. I did the Paradigm Symposiums for 5 years. Fantastic idea, wonderful. I put on the best program I could put on, got the best speakers I could get in. And after 5 years of that, and you end up with $12 in your pocket, you say, this is great. It might be a service to humanity doing this, but it drains me so much. And I have to work for this for really making no money at all for a full 10 months to pull it off every year, that it's a labor of love and it's a hobby. Because while I take in $200,000 plus on it, $197,000 goes out. And so you get my point. After a while, you go, this isn't fun anymore. I'm struggling to make ends meet while I'm making a good thing happen. And I can't do that anymore. Why do we struggle to make ends meet when we're doing good in our lives? That's another question that plagues us. And I think after a certain number of years, that will start to weigh on you. This is what I'm talking about. We get into these situations where we feel like failures. I got to be honest, folks. I feel like a failure. I do this radio show. I did a magazine. I did symposiums. I write books. I publish some books. I do books for other people. I do my work. I keep doing and doing and doing. And I'm still at the place where I'm 60, going on 62, and I still have to work every minute of my day to make sure my bills are paid. I got nothing to retire on. Maybe some of that's because I did foolish things with my money when I was making really good money 35 years ago, 30 years ago, 25 years ago. The last 20 has been about like this. When Raini met me, I was in no better shape than I am now, but I was doing the same things. And now that we're 20 years in, almost 18 years in, not much has changed. And after a while, you feel like you're spinning your wheels. So what do you do with that when you're in that place? Do you say, okay, here's my towel. I'm throwing it in. I'm done. Not getting ahead. It's not going to happen. We convince ourselves that we're not going to get any better off, that life will never be easier, that there will never be a positive thing to look to. But then you realize, and you're done. You want to check out. Some people do just check out, literally. Or I've always had this positive attitude about myself that I always, despite how bad all of this stuff I'm talking about, using me as a personal example, and we all have the same kinds of things that go on. Some of us have found ways to combat that. I think I got them. Fly. To combat that. Some of us, I fall back on my effervescent positive attitude. I pretty much am an optimist. This will work. We'll make it work. I have my bouts with, this is never going to work. I'm never going to get there. Everything okay up there? Hang on, folks. Are you okay? Cat's out of the bag. Okay. Did you take over the show? Are you talking?
No.
Okay. Let me have my chair back. All right. Okay. All right. Good morning, Andrea. Good to see you. My child, Ellery, walking down the wooden steps, the hard wooden steps down here, and she had the little kitty in a shopping bag. And she had on these huge monster slippers, and she slipped on the steps. And so Mom was right there because we heard it. And so she's doing all right. Hey, Ro. What are you up to this morning?
Nothing.
So anyway, as I was saying, we tend to see things through tinted glasses. I'm going to bring it up so I can see it better. We tend to see things through tinted glasses because we are our own worst critics. That's very true. We are. And we're built to be our own worst critics. If you think about it, that's physiologically, mentally, emotionally, who and what we are. We are our own worst critics. And there's a reason for that. There's Ellery.
This is the bag he was in.
That's the bag she had the kitty in. The cat is now out of the bag. You know, that's an old saying. Cat's out of the bag. Which side of your bum hurts? Right there? Come here. Come here. I'm sorry you fell. I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad Mom was right there too. There's your bag.
Kitty.
Maybe don't put the kitty in the bag again. Kitty doesn't like being in the
Leave
bag.
the cat alone.
So, all right, folks. Crisis averted. All right. So, and when we get into that kind of a mindset, we bring about what we think about. Ain't that the truth, Teresa? That's it. When we talk about visualization and manifestation, those are things we can do. We think only in the positive realm with that. Oh, I visualize doing this mighty deed or accomplishing this task or getting to this place in life. And we visualize it. Then we implement it. We manifest it. We do everything we can to manifest it. But we're so caught up in the negative when things don't work right that the negative always takes over, and you don't realize that you can visualize and manifest the negative side of things too. And then we get stuck in that nasty cycle, that eddying whirlpool of suckiness. And we manifest that. The more we think about it, the more we put energy into it, the more we talk about it, the more. I tend to use mine as examples. This is an illustration of where I am. Dave, here's probably more of my personal problems and issues than anybody else. I unload on Dave, and he hears that stuff. And Andy is a good friend of mine. We talk about this stuff all the time, about getting there. But Andy is one of those people. He's had negatives happen. Look at him now. He's multimillionaire, and he's doing fantastic because he overcame his stuff. His stuff was alcoholism. It was anxiety. So overridden by his anxiety, still is, but he's got it balanced. He has to take chemicals to help him with that, medications to help him with his anxieties, but he's found what works. And he's also gotten to that place in life where he built something that works, and he keeps going. Here's a guy who's made his millions off of a business he started and he sold off, and now he wanted something new to do. He said, so he opened up a skateboarding shop in Brainerd, Minnesota. And it looks fantastic. It's phenomenal. Go check it out. By the way, here, I'll type this out just to go look at it. I think there's not as much there as he'd like to have there yet. It's skate-company.co.com. Skateco.com. Skate-co.com. And you can see his building. You can see what he's doing over there. He's having a great time with it. He wants to start with me, a real estate. He says, Scotty, I think there's a way that we can get you doing something. It's not in your field, but probably something where you can make a decent living and not have to worry about stuff as much. It's doing what he did with Lemon Squad with cars, only with real estate. And that doesn't involve any out-of-pocket money or swindling anybody. It's real estate inspections. Some of us maybe have had experiences with real estate inspectors, and we go, I don't want to do that. A lot of dogs. And but no offense to anybody who might be a real estate inspector, but he's got a business model that works. So we might work on that together. So all of that to say, again, using my own experience only as a springboard, an example to talk about what we've been talking about. We can let ourselves get pulled down by the mistakes we've made, by the things that we've done wrong. And I'm sure we could all sit back and make our own private lists of things that we've done wrong. Maybe there's some of us that have never wronged anybody or never harmed anybody or never done anything. I'm not talking about overt, like you've gone out and, you've swindled people or something knowingly. No, but you may have done things that have cost people money or that have cost you money or that have put you in a bad place. You may have inadvertently on the side hurt people without realizing what you're doing is hurting people. And then you're stuck with it because you can't remedy it. You can't fix it beyond words. I've been there. And so you look at this kind of stuff in your life and you say, what is it that's brought me to the place where I'm so dissatisfied that I feel like a failure and I have nowhere to go and nothing I can do? The best thing you have is that thing that Teresa just mentioned that's instilled in every one of us. And what's instilled in every one of us, it's that power, that mindset to set about doing what we want to do and where we want to be. But don't let the negative part of that be manifested in its place. Because the more you dwell on your negativity, the more you will manifest your negativity. Even Raini says to me, you'll be in certain things of the day. We're so used to negative things, all of us, happening in our lives, that you do something, you just choose a blank thing, and then you might turn to the person next to you and go, yeah, watch that fall to pieces now. Or, yeah, watch, that's going to end up costing us more money than making us money. Or that's going to do that. We all do that. You know what you're doing? You're speaking that into existence. Rainey caught me on that the other day. I said, well, there's another great idea. I said, that's going to go nowhere now that we've implemented it. And she's like, don't say that. You will manifest that. So, hey, Ben Miller, good to see you. Hey, Bentley, it's good to see you. Bentley is a friend of Rowan's and mine, even though we're 50 years apart in age. Ben and I don't go hanging out. We don't play games together and go bike riding together or anything like that. But he's a friend because I consider him to be a friend, and he's a friend of my kids. And his mom is one of Rainey's closest friends right now, Jamie. So, so there's all this negative stuff. We can either camp in it and make it, and I'm as guilty as anybody else. That's why I use my own examples. We can either camp in our negativity and let it fester and then ooze that festering maggot-filled slobby glop onto somebody else. Usually the people that are closest to us become our targets. Why? Because they're the easiest. They're the most accessible. They're the ones we know that aren't going to punch us in the face or run away from us. And so we deal with our spouses, our partners, our friends. And if you let the negative overtake you, do you know the people I'm talking about that all they have are negative things to talk about? Not because they're necessarily a negative person innately, but because that's life experience. Life is a piece of shit. It's what you do with that piece of shit. Do you mold it into a spectacular statue, or do you let it fester and make you stink? That's always been my philosophy, but there are times you get trapped in it. After 3 moves in the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I'm about done moving. I'm ready to build my house. But I don't have the money to build my house, so I have to keep doing the things I have to do. Because everything you put in place, the plans you start don't seem to work. So what do you do with that when your life gets that way? You have to force it down and bring out what is innately also in all of us, That's the ability to visualize and to manifest something better. Be positive. On the days when my wife is an absolute bitch on wheels, do you think I want to praise her? No. But there are days where my wife's an absolute bitch on wheels, but I'll say she's the most amazing woman I know. I wouldn't want anyone else in my life. This woman. I don't convince myself. I keep reminding myself that this woman is the love of my life. There is nobody else that matters. And yet we still have those things about our partners that drive us insane. And we might disagree with their point of view, and they might disagree with our point of view. It's finding ways to come together on your points of view and find the positives and work on those positives. Keep manifesting the vision for what is possible in your life, what you know you can achieve, even the things that are like shooting to the moon. So this is the whole point of everything over the last hour, 52 minutes that I've been talking about, is I've got friends who are so buried in their own self-despair, many times on the basis of their own mistakes, that they can't see their way out. And they're struggling and trying to find the way out. And the point I'm making is like this preacher that Rocky Stucci was listening to. He wasn't preaching a religious message. He was preaching a message of your failures are not the things that are going to mark who you are unless you let them. You step forward. We all have the greatness in us to do those things. And I was reminded again by Roosevelt and his not the critic who counts speech. I got to call it up. You'd think I would know this by heart. I've recited it so many times over the years. But remember this. He said this. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of the deeds could have done them better. Let's stop right there for a second. How many critics do you have in your own life? How much do you criticize yourself? It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbled or the doer of the deeds could have done them better. That's one of the criticisms I hate the most. Oh, I know you did that thing, but you did it wrong. Oh, I know you did that thing, but you could have done that better. There's a better way to do that. And it's like, shut up. I'm doing the best I know how to do. I'll take your constructive criticism, but your criticism of who I am as a person, you can keep it and put it where the proverbial sun does not proverbially shine. That drives me insane. So it's not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there's no effort without error or shortcoming. But who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, even if he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat. That's a mantra if you want one. It's right there. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, who's actually the man or the woman. Remember his paradigm, this was delivered in 1910, 112 years ago was when he said this. Paradigm was a little different in public speaking. But the credit belongs to, it doesn't belong to the person who points out how you could have done things better. or points out how you stumbled. You tripped and fell there. We're in this place because of you. You aren't getting ahead because you could have done this better. Let me ask you all a question. How many of you thrive and do better because somebody says, oh, you could have done better? Not just, I know you can do better. You have the greatness in you. No, the critic who says, oh, you did that wrong. You're wrong again. You stumbled again. You're such a buffoon. You'll never get anywhere. You're a loser. You're worthless. How much of that motivates you to do better unless you apply what is inside of you and you overcome that? You go, I don't really give a flying rat's ass what you think about me. I know what I've got inside of me, and I'll keep working at it. And thank you for even the negative motivation, which makes me want to do better to show you that I don't need to be criticized like that. Those are the things in life that we are surrounded with. We're surrounded by critics. We're surrounded by family, even friends, even loved ones that will take advantage of our mistakes and take advantage to criticize because they're not happy with the place they're in. And so everything is a big ball of negativity that's constantly living off of itself. And it's constantly breeding anew and afresh within you. The credit belongs to the person who actually does the deeds, who's actually in the arena, who's marred by dust and sweat and blood and surgeries and broken bones and business failures and financial messes and you name it. Whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs time and time again, falls up short because there's no effort without error or shortcoming. But you also know the great enthusiasms and devotions. You spend yourself in worthy causes. Just talking about that. Who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement. And who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Does that pay the bills? No, not always. I'm not talking about the physical manifestations of paying bills. Bills, we always seem, even when we're short, we always seem to come out and we make it. Does it leave us in a worse place financially? Sometimes. Matt Finn says, depends on whom is making the criticism as to how it makes me think or feel. Most critics I just disregard. There it is. It's like the Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday, the little meme I put up. He's wearing his big broad hat and he's got his cup in his hand and he says, how is it put in this meme? He said, sir, if you meant to offend me, I must first value your opinion. And that's kind of it. Don't try to insult or offend me. Some people, like Matt Finn just said, it depends on who's making the criticism. And sometimes the people closest to you know your faults and they know your buttons. And if they're displeased with themselves, they'll make damn sure you aren't happy either. So I think ego causes us to give ourselves negative evaluations all the time. Period. The key is letting go of ego and focusing on those things that make us feel good about ourselves. I agree, Teresa. Of course, there is the practical side to that. Does that pay the bills? Not always. Does that get you ahead the way you envision yourself being ahead? Why isn't that manifesting into getting ahead? Because there's a lot involved to this about getting ourselves where we want to be. So anyway, that was what was on my heart and my mind when I came into the show this morning. So we spent an hour talking about this. And I think we all have the ability for greatness. and not just the ability. It's innate within us. And somebody laughed as a comment on here. That must be on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook laughed. I don't know if that was laughing at something that was said or laughing at the whole idea. I don't see who made those comments. I just see that they're there. So, oh, I see who laughed. It was a good laugh. Okay. There it is. So, all of you, don't let your own mistakes pull you down. Don't let your failures pull you down. Failures are stepping stones. They're things to help us. You know, do you think the first guy who went out and ate a mushroom in the wild and died made the right choice? No. His ancestors or his descendants all said, that's the one that killed Bob, so don't eat those. Eat these. This makes a good stew. So, I've been not ignoring your comments. I've just been talking, so I'm missing a lot of your comments. God, we all have one, says Beth Kirkham. I'm sure you're talking about those people that are close to us that criticize. But you know, the people who criticize us the most are usually the ones that are probably the most terribly eaten up on the inside. Sad to say. But we don't take it that way. We hear it and it bristles us. So, and as Matt Finn, depends on who's making the criticisms. Sometimes they're easy to brush off. Other times it's like, shut up. Shut up. Hashtag shut up. So, yeah, use that. I do that with some people sometimes. This started with Rocky and I, right there. Hashtag shut up. And then, have you noticed if you ever get into discussions online and somebody says something and you're thinking, I got to think about that before I answer that, make sure I answer the right way. And they come in 10 minutes later and go, see, I knew you didn't know anything because you can't even answer it. It's like, dude, I'm over here working, doing other things. I'll answer you when I get time. That's all right. Give them a hashtag shut up. So if you're only out to belittle somebody else, that's easy to achieve. Unless the other person. Do you know the only people who can really offend me are those who are the closest to me? Because they know the buttons to push and the right things to say. Those 3 hairs on your head pisses you off also. You sound like you need a hug, brother. Oh, you talking to me? Yeah, I got more than 3, but I don't have much more than 3. So I'm thinking of I got to get a haircut. I'm going to do what I usually do, shave the sides and the back really short and tight and say, do whatever needs to be done on the top. Just, it's just there. It doesn't do much. There's not much there to play with anymore. So anyway, that's my thoughts for this morning. If anybody else has any other thoughts, share them with us. I know some of you have. So, hey, Matthew Sainsbury, good to see you. Just saw you there. And what else we got going? I think ego causes us to give ourselves negative. That was Teresa. That's very true. Sometimes we criticize others because it's a reflection of how we might be feeling about something in our own lives. And it really doesn't help, says Teresa. Ain't that the truth? We criticize others because it's a reflection of how we feel. Hey, guys, since it's the top of the hour, I'm going to go warm up my coffee. So I'm going to let just a little ad play for a minute here. And because I got nothing else to play, I don't have any really good ads. I've just got my ad to play. So we'll let that one go, and I'm going to go warm up my coffee. Be right back.
Are you looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Raini Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, ALANROBERTS.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid Radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.
Yeah.
All right, is that what you come down and say hi? Come on. Everybody likes you. Okay. I'm back with my coffee.
I don't see the text messages thing.
That's because the text messages aren't on right there.
Why?
Okay. Vamoose. Caboose. You can sit right there. All right. I'm back. Well, that ad didn't last long enough, did it? So there you go. Dave Potter says, be well, everyone. Remember to do something good for someone. See you, Uncle Dave.
I will put you upside down.
Audrey says, shut up. Here, let's not do that right here in my face while I'm doing this.
Take this thing off.
No.
Yeah, because I can't see me.
Here, how about we do this? Now they can see you. You and Bob Saget.
Bing bong.
Hi, Bob Saget. You think he's happy being held that way?
I'm upside down.
Here, you know how you hold him? I always pick him up, and he never fights me, but put your hands underneath his back feet. And you hold him like that, and you let him figure out how he wants to be comfortable. But you give him support on his back feet like that, and then he'll sit with you, right? Kitty cat? I could put him to sleep real easy because he's still a kitty. So here you go. You take him like that in your hand underneath. Well, wrong hand. There you go. You'll figure it out. All right. So how's the kids? Asks Elderberry of Matt and Beth. Cat is away. Here, don't just hold him nice, or he's not going to want to be held. Hold him nice. His eyes are closed, which means he's napping. He's ready to take a nap. Has he eaten yet? You should get him some food and go feed him.
Matthew Strawberry did 3 kittens.
What?
Matthew Strawberry did 3 kittens.
Matthew Strawberry and 3 kittens. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Matthew Strawberry 3
That's
kittens.
his Sainsbury. That's his last name.
Strawberry.
Sainsbury Strawberry. You've been dubbed as Matthew Strawberry by my daughter. Why don't you go feed that kitty? Go get a can, get a spoon, and get his dish and put half the can in his dish, okay? He doesn't need a whole one of those big cans. Thank you. Go feed the kitty, please. I asked you now 3 times.
What's food in his bowl?
He's got his hard food. He ignores that. He'll mow down the soft food. Go get a spoon. Give him half the can. Thank you, child, for doing what you were asked. I appreciate it. So there we go. Rainey's going to make an appearance here, I think, pretty soon. She was upstairs getting dressed. I told her not on my account, but publicly. You know what I mean. So what's on everybody's mind this morning, this Sunday morning? We won't go a lot longer, but we'll go for a while. We'll wait till Rainey gets here. Maybe she has something good to add to this morning. Into the wild, maybe, says Matt Finn. I'm not sure. I'm looking for what is the antecedent to that comment. Morgan Snow says, got to run. Stay safe. Have a wonderful day. Into the wild, maybe. Is that who you were talking to, Matt? Beth Kirkham says, Andrew, he was just living off the grid. He likes bears. I don't remember his name either. It was some time ago. Grizzly Adams? Is that who that was? Gentle Ben. How many of you remember the show Gentle Ben? That'll date you. Made a movie about it. Who was the guy that was in Alaska? Oh, in that bus and made fatal errors and died. He kept a diary. I remember that. It's a pretty sad story when you think about it. A little macabre in a way. He went off grid and he made some mistakes and did not survive being off grid. Yeah, I remember when that happened. A few years ago in the news. I never saw the movie about it, though. He sees you with that can. Look at him going nuts. That kitty is up on a shelf down here, one of the utility shelves, big wooden built-in shelves down here. We've got his litter box up there and his food and water up there. So the two cats, big old fat black Oscar can't get up there. And the dog can't get him. She's taken out a can. And that kitty is just bouncing on the edge of that, just back and forth, waiting for her to open that can. How about grab his dish? See, he's going to follow you. Then she walks away and he jumps down to follow her. He's just jumping all over the place. I'm calling color on feeding a kitten. See, I feed him up there, and then I will, while he's just mowing away at his food, I will go and attempt to feed Oscar. There's the Rainy. Hey.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing.
And then he goes and tries to eat Oscar's food. And I'm like, stop. Go eat your own food. Let me take that off now. There we go. So what's shaking, Mama?
Not much.
Not much? What's on your agenda today? It's the first I've talked to you today.
Ellie's got a party.
Oh, that's right. She's got her birthday party.
And while we're waiting for her at the birthday party, Rowan and I are going to go sell popcorn.
Oh, fun. All right.
We'll go door knocking.
In Somerset or New Richmond?
New Richmond.
Okay. That sounds fun.
Should be.
So put on your sales face.
This is as sale face as
That's
it's
as sale face as it gets. Well, it works for me. I'd buy from you. So, hi, Ro. How are you? What's shaking?
Nothing.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Oh, hey, we've got, I turned off the comments somehow. So, lovely Rainy, says Kelly Belmorin.
Thanks.
She is.
Hi.
Hi, morning to you, Rainy, says Matthew.
Morning.
Says hi to Rowan, too. So she's overseeing your voice on... Elderberry says she's overseeing your voice on mic. Overseeing. I'm not quite sure what you mean, but I think I get your drift. Yeah, definitely. Rainy is, she comes on and nobody wants to listen to me anymore.
Right. Bye.
So let's trade chairs. You talk.
I don't really have much to say.
You don't have much to say?
I don't know what to say. I'm tired, as you can see. I'm washed out because of the light.
So just a little bit. We got some bright lights down here, but
Go put the food up over there and do it. I don't need to hold the cat. I don't need to help you.
Just
got
grab
it.
his dish
Put the cat down.
and put the food in it, then put his dish back.
Bob Saget, you're an ass.
Bob Saget is an ass. Our cat, Bob Saget. I'm going to pull this a little closer. I feel like we're way far away.
He's going to jump right in it, too.
He is. So.
We have a package arriving today?
From the mail? Is it actually from the USPS?
Yes, this comes in every day except not usually Sundays, and I got a Sunday one.
Oh, that's interesting. What you get? What'd you order? What you got
Nothing.
coming?
That's what I was asking what you ordered.
Nothing.
Do you have a package coming in?
I have no idea. I don't recall ordering anything. So Rainey's going to go out selling popcorn today.
Then I got to figure out where I buried all my stuff so I can start making tumblers for the art show.
Yep. Oh, we got an art show that we're doing coming up on the 14th and the 15th of October, and setting good.
You're going to the birthday party.
You're going to the birthday party, I thought. Yeah.
She's making me some popcorn at the art fair.
Yeah, I'm making all of you.
That's 2 weeks away. So I love your hair this morning, Mama.
Thanks.
Sure, you're welcome.
Mom, you still need to help me find clothes.
You can't find your own clothes? You're almost 8 years old.
There's a whole bunch of clothes in the dryer. There's a whole bunch piled on top of the pile. Can you stop yanking my chair?
Please don't do that, Ellie. Why don't you go do what Mom asked you to do? There you go. So spell check, Og. Hey, Rainey, says Audrey.
Hey.
I've known the guy for 45 years. He can drive me nuts. LOL. Who are you talking about, Beth? Probably her husband. You've known me for almost 20 years. I don't drive you nuts, do I?
No, you just drove me insane.
There it is. My fault. Okay, you got to stop hanging on our chairs back there, child. If you want to stand and observe, you can. But
I'm getting ticked off, dude. Stop
getting Mom
yanking on
mad.
the chair.
go do something with that energy.
Yeah, go wash the dishes.
Yeah, go scrub the kitchen floor. Or use the Swiffer at least. We got these swings here, guys. I don't know if I can swing this around enough to show you. But down here in the basement, this is the room we'll be working on. There, that's over toward the side. Let's see if we can do this.
Almost there.
We've got these swings
There you go.
that are put up.
Now you've probably gone too far.
I've probably gone too far.
No, keep it like that. I need to call it the higher.
So there's a big shelf in front of the desk here. There, that's kind of the family room. What's going to be.
Dad,
It's,
you almost kicked
yeah, I
me.
know. You almost kicked me, yeah. And it goes over a little more. Watch it. You're doing that deliberately now. Don't kick me in the head or it will be over for you. And there's two more swings over there.
This is my new
Over on
pajamas.
that
I used
side.
to-
Yeah, you can't see them through the shelf. But they're hanging. They're the black ones. And that's 28 feet that way over to that wall.
These are the black ones.
And so Dave and I are going to be working on painting this room
No, Mom
amongst.
said the whole family's got.
Excuse me, I do not need you correcting what I'm saying. You can listen and be quiet. So we're going to be doing this room, but we're going to be doing the two rooms that are over there. I think that's just a door. That's not a room. That's a door hanging there. And then but there's the two big rooms over there, which are going to be the studio and also the master bedroom. So right now it's just a basement, and it'll be a cool looking basement in about a week. So those are chairs you can sweep under. That's right, Susie Q. So they've got them. She's got it. Rainey put them up all on the big main joist down here. So. The swing's really cute until they try to kick you in the head. So anyway, so there we go. That's about all we got.
Yeah, I don't got much.
You don't got much?
I got nothing.
But the whole first. Okay, let's put the cat down on the floor and stop bringing him and putting him in my face, child. That's it. No more. You want to see me discipline my child on air?
No.
Because I will. There is cute and there's obnoxious, and there's sometimes a finer line between them. So you seem very distant this morning, Rainey.
Yeah, I had weird dreams all night last night.
What'd you dream? Anything you can share?
No, I probably should talk to people first before I share them.
You have to tell me when we're off air.
Yeah.
So it's got you disturbed today?
Not disturbed. I'm just tired because I was too busy in my dreams.
Yeah. That's interesting. So, oi. That's all we got. That's all I've got today, folks. Unless anybody's got something else. We've got an hour and a half. And I talked about what I wanted to talk about, and I'm spent. So it's about the whole idea. We talked about this whole idea. I was looking at a friend's site and something he had to say this morning that was a little down. And then listening to something else Rocky put up, and I'm talking about it doesn't matter what your failures are. It doesn't matter, because we all have the ability to tap into our greatness and do better and better things. And if you let your power be, what's the word I'm looking for, usurped by your failures or the things that don't go right, you're going to end up with nothing but manifesting more problems. So that's what we talked about this morning. So
That's just garbage. Let's stick it over there in that pile. Thank you.
the popcorn sales? Oh no, My Heritage. Totally different thing. So
I have new DNA matches. All of them third to distant cousins. What was the point of even doing this DNA thing if I can't find any relatives?
I know. They're all like third to sixth cousins. And my sixth cousin has a DNA match. Well, I got a DNA match with about 3 billion people. So,
And is my dad's side of the family all felons and not going to put their DNA in the system or what?
yeah, exactly. I don't know. But you got a good tree going there. We do. Rainey does My Heritage, and I've done Ancestry, where I built a family tree for 10 years.
I did the Ancestry too, but I like My Heritage better.
What does it do that's better?
I like the layout, and they're not constantly asking for money to upgrade.
Yeah,
Upgrade.
I hate that.
Upgrade.
You can look at this great DNA hint we have for you if you sign up
Right?
for $35 a month.
And then with My Heritage, if you do sign up, I don't remember Ancestry doing it, but My Heritage emails you once a month your backup. So if you mess up along the way, you can go back to the prior month and just undo everything and have it saved.
That's cool.
And then you've got it always on your computer.
That's cool.
Not just in a site that if it shuts down, it's gone.
I like the whole DNA thing because it certainly gets you some answers about your heritage if you don't know much about it. So anyway, Audrey's out. Good to see you, Audrey. She says, love you, Scotty and Rainey.
Love you too. Have a great day.
Andrea Mulnix is in here.
Hey, Andrea.
Something might hit down the road, says Andrea.
On my family, I doubt it. I feel like everybody's dying on that side, on the dad's side at least.
Yeah. Line is dying out.
don't know that it's dying out, but all the old people are getting old.
Well, I look like a guy with a tricorn hat. It's just the shadow behind the hat he has on. The tree. Oh, it's a tree. I thought it was a guy.
That is a
See?
guy with a tree behind his head.
It's a guy with a tree behind us here. Why don't I put these on? And I'll be able to see it better.
Thomas Edward Hayes. Can we see his picture?
In your family tree, right there.
That is
He's your great-grandfather
on my dad's
on your
side.
dad's side. Different name than your dad.
That's
Hayes?
because his mother was Hayes and his dad was Trident.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it. Oh, I see the line. Great-grandfather and your maternal grandmother's. No.
The only thing you
Whatever.
get from your dad's side is the name. The blood comes from your mother.
Okay.
Just so you know.
So I have no Welsh in me from my dad?
So the important side, if you want your heritage, is usually from your mother's side.
I can see that. They keep coming up with totally different reworkings of my DNA. So, now where you were...
That's because it's based off, these DNA things are based off of where the people that you're related to are coming from.
Okay.
That was my understanding.
Because now I'm like 30% German. When I was, less than 2% German. When I was 26% Welsh and British, then that dropped to 16% and then 19% Scandinavian, and it just keeps going all up and down. And I think it all depends, as Raini was saying, on who joins up and adds their stuff to the mix. So I'm not German.
I was going to say, let's check my ancestry to my...
And she's over at on Ancestry.com now. What does that say about you? Let's find out. So if you haven't done your DNA, it's kind of worth doing. It's kind of a fun. It almost, it gets into a bit of a hobby after a while. Welsh. The English archers were deadly at Agincourt. They wiped out a whole French regiment with bows. That's right. We just talked about that the other night.
So here. So my heritage says I'm 49% Irish, Scottish, and Welsh.
Which wasn't the same.
My ancestry says I am 29% Scottish, and 21% Germanic, Europe, 16% Finland, 13% Sweden, Denmark, 8% Norway, 6% Ireland, 4% Northwest Europe.
England and Northwest Europe. And then the Baltics, 2%. So you're 49% Irish, Scottish, and Welsh. That's with My Heritage. I don't think I have a My Heritage set up.
I
really
have
look.
you on my Heritage.
What does it say about me?
Download your DNA.
Over there. She's downloaded my DNA. I have uploaded my DNA. It makes you happy, doesn't it? Totally.
Rowan, she was playing with the cat.
That's still you, husband?
You are 50% Scandinavian, 33% English, and 16% Italian.
That was the new one too now, Italian in the mix. So now, hey, if you're going to yell like that, you need to go outside.
Rowan,
That's enough.
don't be shoving.
There's not somebody either on the phone or on the radio over here, is there? Ellery, be conscious of what's going on around you. She's ignoring me. We'll have to take care of that. Okay, so mine, according to My Heritage, I'm 50% Scandinavian, 33% English, and 16% Italian. Italian, where'd that come from? We don't even have any Italian people in my family tree that we know of. There must be somewhere, though, huh? Or somebody who married or was impregnated by an Italian somewhere down the path. Something like that. So I don't know for sure. And I will guarantee you my Ancestry.com one is different. I'm just doing this. I think this is interesting. You all should go do this if you haven't done it. Ancestry.com. Let's see what
They have the
Ancestry.com
other site
says.
too. I can't remember what it's called. But once you get your DNA stuff done, you can go over there and they'll link your DNA to different dead people they've found through the ages to see if you're related to like old Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
or
Leif Erikson. See, now,
Roman.
where Rainey says I'm 50% Scandinavian, 33% English, 16% Italian. That's over on My Heritage, my DNA. My DNA over on Ancestry says I'm 49% Germanic Europe. I'm 28% England and Northwestern Europe. I'm 9% Scottish, 8% Sweden and Denmark, and 8% Ireland. I never had Ireland, never showed up before. Now it does. German never showed up. But then I think about it, my dad's mother was a Swigert. That's got to be where the German comes in. So that's interesting. Those two different ancestry sites, Ancestry.com and MyHeritage, have a very different take on my bloodlines, my DNA. So how about that?
My Heritage has a new photo thing too, where you can like.
Yeah, I'm fully European. I'm a European mutt.
Can I have your photos? Catches all your photos.
Oh, that's kind of neat. Oh, is that my brother?
That's your
in the
brother.
Marine? No, that's my dad. Up
No, that's
right
your
above
brother.
him.
There's your brother. That's my brother.
Oh, that's your brother.
And then it links up to other people. I don't know how Ancestry, because I won't pay for both.
Yeah.
And I like My Heritage better, but this is linked to somebody else's family tree. But this is the Hayes side. I don't remember what her name was, but that
This
would've
is,
been-
you know what this is, though? This is my grandfather who died at 21. My great-grandfather who was murdered. That is him right there. So this is the Roberts family.
This up here is
Hezekiah
the Hayes.
Roberts and all those. That's your Hayes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Hayes down here, that's the picture.
I see. They all wore hats. All men in all of our ancestors wore great lids. So, hey, Beth Kirkenbeck.
Here, look
Yeah,
at that
buffering.
picture.
See, that's very cool. I wish you could see this, guys.
And their
Just old
names.
pictures
They're
from that.
Neela,
It's got to be from the
Frank,
1800s.
Bud, Cloud, Ed.
When is that picture taken? Does it say?
No clue.
Okay.
But
Just-
this is my dad's mom's side of the family.
Okay.
And Cornelia, that must be the Neela, is the great grandmother.
See, I tend to be focused on where did my name come from? What's the heritage behind it? When I start getting out to my great aunt's husband's mother, then I'm kind of like, it might affect my DNA, but I don't care.
See, I don't go out that way. I just go versus mothers and fathers. I don't have to go great aunts and great uncles.
Yeah.
But they come up, and this was all tagged in there. But it's not just a name. It's not a name. You got to go with the moms too.
Right. Oh, I know. You told me about that a long time ago. The maternal side matters. But we're both kind of European mutts. Whether I'm Scandinavian or Germanic goes against, the name, the bloodline of the name. The Roberts goes to the Robarts, the Roberts, all the way back into England to the early 1400s. But apparently all the other stuff, let's see the picture you have in there.
That's from 16 something. That is, I don't know. It's a great something that came over on a ship from somewhere with his wife and
Probably,
I think 3 kids. It's been a long time.
He's an Olsen. It's probably Scandinavian of some kind.
Where did it go? No, I messed it up.
So all of that to say, this isn't.
It's fun. It's fun to go back because
Yeah.
I can see the records. And I know that they came over. It says, I don't remember anymore without going to click all it in it and whatever, but it says the name of the ship they came on, how long it took them to get here, when they left, when they got here, who was on the ship with them. It was pretty neat.
Hey, Flynn. Oh, he's having problems with his phone. So, folks, I think
That's because it's Rainiel Roberts at Gmail, not Rainiel Roberts.
that's about all we're going to do today. It's 10:36 a.m. We're going to let class go a little early today, and you can hang out. Go do your own thing. Fly in here. There's Flynn. Say hi, Flynn. Hi.
Hi, Flynn.
What's shaking? What's new? What you up to?
Trying to sign into the Oculus.
Okay. Trying to sign into the Oculus. You looking good, son?
Which took hours to try to figure out yesterday because I couldn't
Yeah.
remember my Facebook password, which was linked to an email that they inactivated, so I had to wait for hours for them to reactivate it.
Which was dumb. All right. So, folks, I think we're going to get out of here. So you all have a, I found out I go back to Edward Longshanks, says Andrea Molnix. I can see it. I see the resemblance. Let's see. He rode a horse, too. That's the one, Scotty, you mentioned that died over a political fiasco. Remember, oh, yeah. My great-grandfather was shot on Election Day in 1926. So they were all hanging out at the post office having soda pops.
My great-grandpa on my grandma's side, my grandma's dad, was a Prohibition booze runner.
Nice.
And had a brand new, I can't remember what kind of car they said it was, but
A roadster.
he
Something.
had the feds behind him, and he ended up having to just stop. He stopped the car, left it, ran into the fields, and went on the run and spent a long, long time on the run.
And never got his car back.
Never got his car back, but my grandma thinks, because he went by, it was something. It's not Cy Colburn, because that's the friend.
Yeah.
But it was Cy something. And I can't remember what he went by for his name. But after he married my great-grandma, they went on the run. And it was like every 9 months to a year, my grandma had to move. She was always moving across state,
Hey,
across town.
let's go on the run.
Cross
I feel like we're
country.
halfway there already.
And then I was told that he was kind of a shyster. And he would sell cars. He sold cars after that to make money. But he never did more than enough work on the cars to just get them running to drive off the lot. Because if they drove off the lot, he did good by selling
you were
the car.
done.
And then after that, it was their problem.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's great.
I got this beauty for you right over here. It's
I don't
yellow.
know where my phone is upstairs.
So,
What do you need, son?
yeah, he's bigger. That's right, Elderberry. He
My
is.
phone is upstairs.
He's as tall as Rainy.
So go upstairs and find my phone. Check your computer.
Teenager.
If it says it went to my phone, it went to my phone, not my computer.
That's right.
And not to be like, he needs to freaking do stuff today. Don't make him clean his room because I'm switching his room out.
All right.
I will, when he goes to school, I'm going to go in and unload
I
his
still
frickin'
think he
room.
needs the big room.
No.
He's the older, but
No. Have you gone
With
in
the bathroom.
Have you gone in his room yet?
yeah, I have.
And how much walking room is in there?
Did you create the walking room that was in there when I got home from Andy's? I walked in there and was like, oh, this is nice. I walked in there this morning and it was like, what the hell happened in here?
He doesn't do anything is what is in there. I can't even walk to the linen closet to get blankets out.
He has
He's
to
done
do
in that
more
room.
than sit inside on
He's
devices
done
today.
He's done in that room. He's going to the small room because if all he's going to do is sit in his room and play devices, he does not need more space. He
That's
does
true.
not need to hoard his boxes in his room.
I think he likes the bigger room because he can have friends over.
He can have friends over in the small room. There's enough space.
No. I can't log in.
Oh, then it's just not going to work, Glenn. I just let it go
No.
and do something else. Yeah.
Why does it have to be logged into Meta? Can you
I
not just go to
don't know.
Facebook.com?
While they're figuring out online games and stuff like that and Oculuses and emails,
Have to sign in.
thanks for the company yourself, Roger Rabbit. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here today.
I don't know how to log in.
And
Meta.
everybody else, serve. Yeah,
I'm fucking
I know.
irritated.
I know. It's irritating. Our children are irritating. Anybody want 3 kids? Just for a short time, you know, vacation. You want a vacation with kids? You want to see what it's like having 3 kids before you have kids?
Sucks. Don't do it.
We love our kids, but some days we could live without them. Let's see. Everyone have a great...
All the days.
All the days. That says mom. All right, you guys. We're going to get out of here for real now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your time here when you could have spent it somewhere else and maybe had so much more to do. Where are you off to?
I gotta go see if Jim's outside waiting for popcorn.
Oh, okay. I'll be up to in a minute. Bye. I love you. Urgh. Anyway, sorry I was distracted, but distracted by good things. All right, guys. I thought you were from the Sons of Ra, says George Abril. Me? So we're about done, folks. We usually go to 11, but today we're gonna quit a little early today. We got other things to do. We got this basement to work on and stuff like that. Within a week or so, you're gonna see the transformation down here. And we'll see you back again here tomorrow night, Monday night through Friday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. West Coast Time, and 9 p.m. sharp every day on the Odyssey Radio Network, and also right here on our YouTube channel. So, George, by the way, Millennium Falcon is still here. Because of the move and all that, everything just sat undone like that. I got stuff to even send to my dad that hasn't gotten out yet. So, was it you or was it Mercado? I think it was Mercado. Never mind. So, that's all I got, folks. So we'll see you tomorrow, bright and early at 10 p.m. Eastern. What? Tom Holman's hot? Who? What?
Tom Holland's hot.
Tom Holland is hot. Okay, he's old though, like me.
He's
So I must be hot too. Oh, I'm thinking of a different Tom Holland. So my 7-year-old thinks somebody's hot. There you go.
Tom Holland, who plays Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Italian and Greek, Beth Kirkham. Yeah, mine was Italian. So please don't do that. You're shaking the table. As if you don't know that. As if you haven't been told that 300 times already. All right, guys. For real now. I'm out of here. You all have a good day. And have a fun rest of your Sunday. And I will see you here tomorrow night. Live long and prosper.